let's bring in Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Oba Maduabuchi, for more on the ruling on the Rivers State crisis. Thank you so much, Senior Advocate, for joining us on the news tonight. Great. We hope that you can help us clarify this decision. As you have read and seen in the public space, both groups are claiming victory. The Supreme Court today did dismiss Governor Fubara's appeal, which he ultimately withdrew before the courts. But what does this dismissal actually mean in legal terms, if you can break it down to the layman?
Thank you very much. Let me start by saying there are two types of judgments.
Okay.
One is declaratory. One is executory. A declaratory judgment is the one that tells you the state of affairs. Like we say, Oba Maduabuchi is 6 feet 4 inches tall. It simply declares my height. An executory judgment is the one which says, Oba Maduabuchi, I don't want to see you in Arise television again. So it can be enforced. Declaratory judgments cannot be enforced, but executory judgments can be enforced. Where any judgment or ruling does not fall into any of these apertures, then it does not qualify properly as a judgment. It becomes a decision. I don't know if you get this land.
Okay.
It becomes a simple decision. What happens in this case is, like everybody has said, a budget was presented before 4 members of the, and they passed the budget. Some people felt aggrieved and went to court, and the Omotosho said, no, you shouldn't have presented it before those 4 gentlemen. Go and present it before the 27 people. The man went on appeal on the question of 2024 budget. And because of our normal delay in courts, the thing lasted up till the Court of Appeal gave the judgment, go and present this thing before. They went to the Supreme Court, which is their constitutional entitlement. Today, 10th of February, 2 months into 2025, how do you begin to talk of budget of 2024 that expired on 31st of December? So one thing the Supreme Court never toys with is delving into academic issues. It does not bestow anything on any person. That judgment did not say, that the judgment of the Supreme Court did not say, legislators, you are right. It did not say, Fubara, you are right. That is how you know what is a judgment. What did it say? What did it stop somebody from doing? What did it direct somebody to do? Once you can't, like I said, you can't enter any of these apertures. My friend, forget about it. It's simply a decision. Like saying, I adjourn this case till next week.
So basically, the Supreme Court did not say, do this or don't do this.
Yes.
It just took a decision. Now, we know that this case stems from a deeper political crisis in Rivers State. There's other cases, particularly the defection of 27 lawmakers from PDP to APC back in December 2023. Now, where are those cases now?
No, these are the cases the Supreme Court, they adjourned 4 cases for judgment today.
Yeah.
Like whether they should get the appropriation. I think it was here, I said, look, this question of appropriation and allocation and appropriation, we have to be careful. Because appropriation is for the State House of Assembly. Allocation is for the federal government. So if a federal high court cannot say stop allocating money to a state unless that state has ceased to exist. Insofar as you exist as a state in Nigeria, you're entitled to your money. But appropriation, if there is a problem with the State House of Assembly, it pertains only to appropriation. It cannot affect allocation.
Senior Advocate, there was also the issue of fines being awarded against the governor.
That's not a fine, we call it costs.
A cost awarded against the governor. And some people say perhaps that's where the Amaewhule faction is getting their victory dance from. The excitement from to say that is. So there's that on that hand that you need to help us clarify. Then the issue that has also been raised is that, is it possible for the appeal court judgment or the appeal court decision to only focus on the 2024 budget. There are people who say that that judgment, which the governor withdrew today and which was dismissed, the appeal, which was dismissed, bordered on a lot of issues beyond the 2024 budget, including the powers of legislative independence. And that's why the 27 lawmakers feel they have gotten a victory. If you can clarify what the appeals judgment said, was the appeal only on the 2024 budget?
Exactly.
Only on the 2024 budget?
Where was it proper for Fubara to have taken his budget to 4 legislators?
In that instance, is it not the legitimacy of the lawmakers is talking about?
Yes. Now, whether this is the proper House of Assembly or the other one, right? So Omotosho said the proper people, as far as we are concerned, are the 2, because you can't have 4 people pretending to be a House of 31. The question of whether these people are still members of the House or they have defected is a different kettle of fish. But as things stand, you should have taken it to the 27. And Fubara says, no, I cannot take it to the 7 because these people have defected. And the Court of Appeal says, no, the question of their defection is not for you to decide. That is another proceeding going on. So, until that issue is decided, take your budget to them. So the man says, I will never do that, and comes to the Supreme Court. Then this budget these people are talking is gone, is spent, it is dead. Even if the Supreme Court says, okay, you are right, go and present it, there is no budget to be presented. Right? So that is why Yusuf Ali, highly respected, very, very highly respected. When I heard that Yusuf Ali withdrew an appeal, I knew he wasn't on a frolic. Yusuf Ali is not such a lawyer. So we know it's like Chris Richard, all those. You saw the cream of the best Nigerian lawyers who are there today. So anything they did today, you will know it's a master class, right? So that the question of the legitimacy, whether those people are still members of the House, has not been decided. It will be decided on the next day. It is part of the 4 other appeals cases that the Supreme Court adjourned today.
As a senior advocate, how does this play into the wider context when it comes to timelines of cases in Nigeria? Because this withdrawal came as the decision was made based on, okay, look, events has overtaken this, so we don't need to talk about this.
Exactly.
What do you say about timelines where it renders sort of legal cases moot?
You see, we've always shouted it until we are hoarse. Even the year when I was made SN, it was the thing, I was the captain of my class. It was one of the things I harped upon. We need to do something about the number of years. If this were not a political matter, it wouldn't even be listed for a motion now. A small motion, it will not get listed. If it was not a political matter that the whole world is looking at, how dare you bring a 2004 appeal before the Supreme Court for motion? Why? How? And that is why the new CJN has now, they are taking steps. Now, for example, motion for leave to appeal, you don't need to bring it. Again, before we used to file it, but you don't need to. You have 2 times. First 30 days, you pay. Second 30 days, you pay. Otherwise, closed. You can't come a year after and say, please. You did not write your brief. You don't bother anybody. After 30 days, you didn't file. Another 30 days, that's 60 days. My friend, forget about it. If you bring it, they will not even, they will simply dismiss it in chambers. So these are some of the things. Because you don't know how you explain to a client that lost a case in the Court of Appeal and you pressure him because you believe in the case. Let's go on appeal. And 10 years later, he doesn't have judgment.
Talk about the wheels of justice grinding.
It's so
extremely slow.
Yes.
Let me ask you, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, because there are critics of Governor Fubara who say that he's been disobedient to the courts. We have a 2025 budget in motion.
Yes.
And they cite this appeal that has been dismissed by the Supreme Court, that at the appeals court said to him it was wrong for him to present an appropriation bill before a 4-member, which is not even 3-member led, as one of them became his chief of staff.
Exactly.
But he has gone ahead, despite that judgment, to present another 2025 appropriation bill and even passed by the same 3-member.
Exactly.
What do you say to people like that, to say this is a form of disobedience to the court?
You see, I do not like the situation River State is in, because it is not Fubara or Amaewhule that is suffering it. It is the people of River State. And one thing we will never support, no matter the divide you are upon, is that there should be no money even to pay salaries in River State. We will never allow that. We will never support that. But the two sides are wrong. Because, in my opinion, which I'm entitled to, the 27 defectors are no longer members of the House. Because if you read, it's like Section 102 or 105, I can't remember now, says, after 4 years, a House stands dissolved, shall be dissolved. So it doesn't wait for anything to happen. Once the law says shall, it happens upon occurrence. So when they say a member of the House shall lose his seat when he becomes a member of a political party outside the, it means that the moment he does that, shall, it automates itself. So, in my opinion, in December 2023, they ceased being legislators. But the law, the Nigerian Constitution, which is the one that is holding all of us, says you can't have less than 24 or 20 or 24 members of any House of Assembly. But it cannot be more than 30, it cannot be more than 40. It can't be more than 40, not less than 20, either 20 or 24, I'm not exactly certain. Now, 3 people cannot satisfy that constitutional provision. But the government must function. If you also revert to the Constitution, I think Section 96, it says, where for any reason they have not passed the appropriation bill, the government, the government departments are entitled to spend the money approved for them last year for 6 months or until a new appropriation bill is passed. So that is what Fubara should have recourse to. That is the leeway given to him, not to commit the illegality of going to 4 people. 4 people under Nigerian law can never be a House of Assembly.
All right, I think that's a good place to leave it. We've run out of time, but thank you so much, Oba Maduabuchi.
Yes.
I will soon mispronounce Nana.
Don't be. Maduabuchi, my parents will not be happy about that, yes. That mispronunciation. A senior advocate of Nigeria, for weighing in on the Supreme Court ruling on River State's political crisis.